What is up, everyone? This is Press X to Start Podcast Season 6, Episode 1. Press X to Start Podcast is an audio and video podcast seeking to transform the video game media landscape through an underserved and protected point of view. I am your host, DJ, aka The Last Raven, aka Sexy Bad Choices. Oh, y'all gonna figure out what The Last Raven is very soon. Well, probably in about a couple years, but whatever. Who else is here?
How you gonna say pretty soon and then a couple years? Anyway,
Because
I'm your heavyweight champion from Wishniggawood, California, aka the janitor because we watching niggas, aka the Kraken's black color. The Kraken's black cousin, the Crack-a-lackin'. There we go.
I got real racist and he pulled it back.
It's your boy Jordan, aka JXBot, aka the Last Spectre. Sure, you know.
Okay. All right. We're all the last of something. And Avery?
The last of us.
Yes, I'm Avery. Yes.
You almost forgot it, but you pulled it in at the very end. I like it. All right. That is who we are. And before we get into the highlights of this episode, I just like to make one thing clear. This is the Gundam crew. Now you might be wondering,
Goodbye.
wait. We all like Gundam in some way, shape, or form, and it just dawned on me. I was like,
I'm more of a person.
Avery left as Marcus returned, so we'll wait for everyone to return so I can explain why this is so important. It just dawned on me as I was brushing my teeth that we all love Gundam in some way, shape, or form. So, it's pretty cool. Gundam Seed, G Gundam.
I don't
Blood
love
Orphan?
Gundam Seed.
No, not you. Jordan loves Gundam Seed.
No,
Is it
double
C?
O.
Is it?
Double O.
Double O, there you go. And then Marcus loves G Gundam, right? Right, Marcus?
Goddamn right, I
Marcus?
love G Gundam.
Yeah.
I
And
also,
you, Avery, you love Blood Orphan, right?
the little chibi Gundam.
Well, okay.
aka Best Gundam.
Clarification. I love Wing, Blood Orphans, and G Gundam. Those are the only three Gundams I want to have a conversation about.
Hey, that's okay. And I love everything else. So that
No, you
we're all
don't.
good.
We
got
had a specific conversation where you told me that Blood Orphans sucked. So
It's fine. I just don't like Turn a Gun. That's it. Anyways, now we can get to talking about what we've been talking about, which is
I'm cutting this out of the audio, by the way.
100%. I will pay you extra money to do it.
I'll post this as a separate video. So this comes from Forbes. Paul Tassi, The Last of Us actor Troy Baker angers fans with voice NFT support. So how this is going to go, I'm just going to read off a good chunk of text and then we can just talk from there. So prolific video game voice actor Troy Baker, best known for playing Joel in The Last of Us, announced a partnership with VoiceVerse, a company that claims to be turning AI-generated voices into NFTs. Troy tweets, I'm partnering with @VoiceVerse NFT to explore ways where together we can bring more tools to new creators and make new things and allow everyone a chance to own and invest in the IP they create. We all have a story to tell. You can hate or you can create. What will it be? ? So that was his tweet. And then with this tweet, he posted a picture of himself in the style of an NFT. And like the first tweet was like, are you becoming an NFT? And he was like, no. So off the bat, it was kind of confusing in terms of he didn't need that photo. That photo kind of just muddied his message. Essentially, the video game industry, literally he set his Twitter account on fire because, as we all know, NFTs is starting to encroach into the environment and no one is liking it. And a lot of people just kind of looked at this as part of that and they just turned their ire towards Troy Baker. So there was a number of complaints being made by fans and fellow members of the game industry. So number one, supportive NFTs with critics claims encourage creative theft and damage to the environment. It is a touch the stove position among many in the industry at this point. Baker appears to be promoting technology that could theoretically aim to devalue or even replace that he and his fellow voice actors do. And number 3, reading through VoiceVerse's actual plans, it's hard to believe the logistic reality of much of this, with pitches full of typical imagine this was possible language, which barely anything concrete to show for it. So, with me putting together this heavy hitter, right? I've heard a few takes on this, and they were mostly negative, and I was like, okay, I can understand that, but I can also see the possibility in the future of like why Troy would do something like this and why it's actually kind of cool. This was all before I went to VoiceVerse's website. I went to VoiceVerse's website and I was like, oh, I see the grift here. This is not great. Their website is very poppy, it's very colorful, it's very like, hey, we're doing something new. Check us out. We're cool. And so this is pulled from VoiceVerse's website. VoiceVerse is a voice metaverse. They don't actually explain which metaverse. They just kind of say metaverse, and we're just supposed to believe that it's just a thing that is already working, and you can go into it and see what the metaverse is. Built around an initial drop of 8,888 first of its kind voice NFTs on the Ethereum blockchain, the vision is to provide everyone a voice in the metaverse, spanning across various dimensions from games and movies to music and video calls. What is a voice NFT? Voice NFT is a second generation NFT built with AI and high functioning utility that provides you an ownership to a unique voice in the metaverse. You can use it for in-game chats, Zoom calls, YouTube, and TikTok, and create whatever content you desire, and even mix your own voices with our voice NFTs. So that is the verbiage on VoiceVerse. That is confusing to say the least. So to get us started on this conversation, I just did a quick search of what's an NFT. This information comes from The Verge. So what's NFT? NFT is a non-fungible token. Non-fungible more or less means that it's unique and can't be replaced with something else. For example, a Bitcoin is fungible. Trade one for another Bitcoin, and you'll have exactly the same thing. A one-of-kind trading card, however, is non-fungible. If you've traded it for a different card, you have something completely different. You gave up a Squirtle and got a 1909 T206 Honda's wanker. I don't even know what the fuck that's supposed to be.
A car.
Which stadium? Okay, yeah.
Okay,
yeah, you're right.
Graphics card.
Or that.
Yeah, it could be a graphics card. Which Stadium Talk calls the Mona Lisa of baseball cards. Sure. How do NFTs work? At a very high level, most NFTs are part of the Ethereum blockchain. Ethereum is a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or Dogecoin, or Dogecoin, whatever how they pronounce that.
Doja Cat.
But its blockchain also supports these NFTs, which stores extra information that makes them work differently from, say, the Ethereum coin, which I don't know why they included that, but it is worth noting that other blockchains can implement their own versions of NFTs. Some has already done so. Okay, so that's all the information for this. Now we can actually talk about this. This comes down to it just being a bad idea for Troy Baker. So that's been another episode of Press X Start Podcast.
No.
So yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna start with a position that I had before I actually looked at VoiceVerse's website and was just very confused by what I saw there. Overall, I think what he's doing, and we also talked about this before the cast too. Overall, what I think he's doing is a smart move for him and his IP, because this technology of mimicking voices, using the content that is freely available on the internet to do machine learning and using an AI to just figure out, okay, well, this is how this person talks. This is his mannerisms, and you can just type in, "Hey, my name is I'm a black person," and it will come out as Troy Baker's voice. Like that's something that people can do. People can do right now.
Just imagine Joel from The Last of Us saying, "Hi, I'm a black person."
Right?
That's interesting because you would get Troy's normal speaking voice, but you probably wouldn't get Joel's actual voice.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good point.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So, like this technology, and also, we're gonna be bumping up with the whole concepts of not the whole concept. We know what the concept is, but we're gonna be bumping up with examples of deep fakes in our society, and essentially, deep fakes is just the next level of this, where it's basically taking a picture of a person and making that picture move and talk in a manner that makes it look like it's that person actually did it. And
Total
that's a problem.
anarchy.
That's a big problem. Yeah. And so what Troy Baker is doing right here is seeing, well, I guess he may or may not be seeing the horizon of, what technology has in store for voice actors, but he's definitely trying to step in front of this and trying to, as he says, what do you say? Um we all have a story to tell. You can hate or you can create. What will it be? So yeah.
That's whack as fuck.
Hey,
That's some goddamn Bed Bath and Beyond bullshit.
Advertising.
But as someone who's listened to Troy Baker talk on hours and hours for at least the last 2 years now, that's something that's very in line with how he actually talks. It's one of those things where, like, if you know him, you know that, like, if you don't know Troy Baker, you read that and say, if you're gonna hate on this, I don't want to talk to you. That's how that sounds.
Yeah.
If you know Troy Baker, it's a completely different intonation of what that means. But like outside looking in, that's a bad fucking thing to say.
Yeah. So it is one of those things where he's like, hey, look, I'm jumping on
pull
this.
yourself up by your bootstraps.
Right. But yeah, he's definitely looking at this technology and jumping on it and is basically saying like, hey, look, I'm seeing what the future has to hold, and I am trying to be on the part where I can make sure that I get my money. And Avery mentioned that he was on a podcast with Alana Pierce and some other people, and he kind of had a response to all this criticism, and he's basically saying like, hey, yeah, like I'm doing this to ensure or to secure a future for my son. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. One of the things Alana asked him point blank is, hey, are you doing this for the money? And he said, nah, like I will get money from this. But like that's not my main my main thing. My main thing is this will create an avenue for developers to get voice work in their games without having to compromise other aspects of their their budgets. Because like
right.
Voice acting and one of the reasons voice acting is expensive. It is, especially if you want to get recognizable voice actors in your games. And I think the example they used was the Banner Saga, in which the Banner Saga team wanted to have voice acting in the game, but they had so much text in their game that it wouldn't be cost effective for them to do any VO in that game. So they just did it without. A product of the likes of what this is, and to Troy's, I think, the reason Troy signed up was for that. He didn't sign up for the NFT stuff, even though his tweet said the NFT stuff. Like it's one of those weird things where like this is a man who it's I'd say do your due diligence and listen to the Play Watch Listen that came out recently, in which he sits down with Mike Bithell, Lana Pierce, two very fundamentally against NFT people, and then Austin Wintry, a composer who is dealing with the ramifications of what the voice actor program that Troy wants to do has already happened in the music industry, and have that conversation, because it's a more nuanced and interesting conversation than anything I can say. Ultimately, I'm on the mindset of the entire conversation of that Troy made a mistake on this, partnering with this in this way. There are other ways he could have gone about to fund this program to start working on this. The fact that this company is working with NFTs tells me that they're grifters. Like my big thing with NFTs are I don't even give a shit about the environmental impact because let's be honest, if people give a shit about environmental impact, a lot of shit that we do as a society wouldn't be an issue. Like we would actually
And
dealt
we'd
with.
be more so targeting the giant corporations because
Yeah. Like
they
no,
are.
like yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like everything we do has an environmental impact. NFT stuff is a really bad, has a really bad environmental footprint, which I also dislike. But that's not the reason I dislike it. I dislike it because the same people who push NFTs are the same people who push crypto. I don't like crypto, bros. I also think there's a level of scam energy on NFTs because people going to people who know shit and saying, "Hey, man, here's what we can do with NFTs," and the people who are saying we know shit. You can't do that. And it's like, but what if we could? And it's like, no, you can't. Like before Troy became the main character of Twitter, Mike Shinoda was the main character of Twitter because he was like, imagine if you imagine if you buy a skin in Valorant, and I could take that skin to Fortnite, or I could take that skin to Apex Legends. This is something we can do with NFTs. And a bunch of game devs were like, no, you can't, dude, because what you're asking is for the Valorant team to make an asset and then give up the copyright rights of that asset to every other company, and then you're asking every other company to then spend development time on allowing that asset to be shared into your game, and that's ignoring art styles of things like that. Yeah,
Yep.
I have the Oni Vandal. There's no Vandal in Apex Legends. I can't take that gun and put it in Apex Legends. That's so fucking dumb.
Yeah. It is a lot of people talking about a subject that they know they know from a very shallow perspective. And I think that's where I get kind of annoyed with the whole NFT talk, especially like in the game industry. We have a bunch of publishers talking about how, yeah, we're gonna try to add NFTs to our games. And
Specifically,
really and
Square
truly,
Enix and Ubisoft. Ubisoft
Right,
has already
yeah.
implemented NFTs in their court system for fucking Ghost Recon, and that's clearly a fucking
yeah.
and that's clearly
Yeah.
like the reason why game devs are so specifically game publishers is that NFTs allow them to make money without doing anything.
Yeah.
Because they were
And,
theoretically going to sell a point on every sale, and for the most part, they're not producing anything. They're just getting free money if these things get sold around.
Right. And I heard a very eloquent way of this conversation from Jeff Grubb and on his thing, where he was saying how essentially the work of selling a thing transfers from the publisher or the game dev where they're trying to sell you this like DLC or whatever, and that work goes to the consumer. So you might be playing a game and someone kind of jumps on and they start talking to you, and they might start talking to you in a way where, hey, this cool skin I got, it's pretty dope. Like I really like how it looks. Don't you kind of want to, be a part of this? You can get it too if you just pay me X number of dollars. And it's one of those things where you
They sound
never
like
know.
bots.
It really and truly, like you never know what kind of conversation you're going to be having with people with this whole NFT thing happening. But that's that. In terms of this conversation, yeah, I was very much so on the side of like, yeah, like I can understand and I can see why Troy Baker is doing the things that he did. And then I went to the VoiceVerse website, and as I said earlier, that website screams grift, and it's very colorful. As the content I just read, like they have a roadmap on their website, and it's a very high level, like this is the things we want to do, and it does scream imagine if this was possible language, and it is very much so like i don't I don't know if any of this is going to actually come to fruition, my guys. Like this isn't it just it doesn't scream confidence. It does scream like, hey,
This
we're trying to make some money before we dip out.
this very much screams to me in regards to Troy of a Valkyrie Reflect situation, But if you didn't know, Valkyrie, one of the co-owners of 100 Thieves, one of the biggest esports organizations in North America, partnered with a skincare company that was in like Ulta and shit called Reflect, and they claimed that their product could reverse the effects of blue light on your skin.
Wow.
But then people with any knowledge looked at this, like, one, the company wouldn't give out any of their science of how they proved they could do that, and then B, people with actual science knowledge, like, there's not much, blue light isn't as damaging to your skin as this company is really purporting. So it's one of those things where, like, Valkyrie put her name out there, everyone shit on her for about 2-3 weeks. A bunch of streamers, like, she only got out of her contract because, like, someone else leaked DMs of her complaining about the fallout of all of this to, like, everything.
Yeah.
But it's one of it screams to me as those situations where ultimately it's going to do two things. A bunch of people are not going to like Troy Baker. They're going to immediately be like, "Oh, he's a scam artist. I don't like him." Yada yada. They're probably going to, if they're of the Jason Schreier acolytes, they're probably going to be like, "Ha! I knew he was an asshole this entire time," and that's going to be the situation going forward. For the most part, I don't think it's going to affect his work in games at all.
Yeah.
And he's going. This company is going to, I think, quietly disappear, because I think they're quietly going to disappear. Because people have already started bringing out litigious stuff about, hey man, you're actually stealing. Not just like you're not just going to Troy and like, hey, can we get your voice print so we can do this thing? They're also just like straight up taking people's voices to make their products. And that's not even me getting to the theranos of it all. Of, hey, is this product that you're making actually working, or is this you just claiming you've created this product and it's working?
Yeah,
it's a grift.
I mean, on top of all of that, what is the actual outcome to all of this? You have a bunch of people talking as Troy Baker, saying whatever they want to say. Like, what if someone easily just, okay, I'm gonna spend whatever $120 to get Troy Baker's voice. Now I'm about to say some inflammatory shit. Like,
to that point, you're just making, Troy addresses that in that podcast I was talking about, and he makes the point that shit's already there. Like, I'm a fan of I'm a fan of Hassan Piker, and one of his mods created a robot voice of him to just say whatever he wants.
Oh wow!
So that shit's already out there. Like, the genie's out of the bag. Like, if you're angry about this stuff's existence, it already exists. The question is what we are going to do with it, and can we get it to a point where, like, it's like, honestly, I'm hoping that we go the route of eugenics with this. Where, like, we went out of the wazoo of making a lot. No, hear the thing. We regulated the shit out of eugenics before it became a thing. Like, you can't, like, the shit that people dream of with eugenics, you can't just do, because there's all this shit controlling it. So like, I'm hoping we get, like, because this shit's going to happen regardless. I just want it to be used responsibly going forward.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Like, that's definitely where I was.
Oh, it won't.
I'm
You don't.
I'm just trying to, like, bridge the eugenics to the thing. Okay.
You don't believe in society's ability to do the right thing, Marcus?
Absolutely not.
For shame. Well, that has been our. Well, yeah. I mean, we're all ending with this is just a bad idea, and Troy Baker more than likely just got taken advantage of, and unfortunately, this is just a thing that happens. Hopefully, he will recover, which we know he will, and this company will. They will go into the recesses of the shadowy underbelly of the internets, and they'll reemerge as Zengaverse 2.0. Did I say Zenga? No, I said Zengaverse. Yeah, because that's how I feel about Zenga. Anyways, this has been another episode of Press X Star Podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed making it. Don't forget to rate and reviews on your favorite podcasting apps, because anything and everything you do for us will help us be the best us that we can for you, listener and viewer. In case you missed any of this, you can find any of the details and more on our website at pressx2start.com. Again, make sure if you are watching this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and you hit that notification bell, because we need all three things from you, dear listener. And if you want to write us and suggest a game or suggest a story or suggest anything, like what hat I should wear, make sure you hit us on our email at pressx2startpodcast@gmail.com. And again, that is 2 as in TO and not number 2. I have a lot of saliva in my mouth. Yeah, with all that being said, you take care, you have a great day, you wash your hands, and you double mask up because Omicron out here touching everybody.